हाँ मैं कर रहा हूँ। Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Idigisys webinar, and we are going to start the session within 2 minutes. So hold for a while, please. Good evening, guys. Welcome to the Idigisys webinar. And today we are going to discuss cloud networking. And thank you for joining us. And today's guest is Miss Reema. She is a technical trainer and she has having 8 years of experience in training the professionals and students. So she'll be taking over very soon. So I hope you all are good. And can you please tell in the chat box where are you from exactly? So by then, Rima will be taking over. Rima, over to you.
Thank you, Ayush.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Very good evening. Am I clearly audible to you all? Can I get a quick confirmation from the reactions, just like a quick thumbs up? Hope you all are doing good. Folks, you have access to reactions. If you would be having any question, there is a raise button, and you will be able to use the chat window as well. So if you have access to the chat box, please write a hi message. I hope you are able to. Okay. Hi, good evening, Dinesh. All right. So, hi, Sudhir. Hi, Anshu. Okay. Let's start with a quick introduction of mine. My name is Reema, and I'll be taking this session. The topic is demystifying networks in the cloud. So, how many of you think networking is a complex topic, or if you have ever created any network in the cloud? These are two questions. Let me know. I would like to understand my audience. Have you ever created a network, a virtual network? Okay, no. Thanks for responding, Dinesh. How about others? Okay. Then Shanmugan, Adarsh, you all are into the right session. Let's get started without wasting any time. So let me share the agenda. Once you will see it, just give me a quick confirmation that you are able to see the screen. Okay. Folks, is the screen visible to everybody? Not yet. Just hold on. So can anybody please quickly confirm that you can see the screen now? Okay, great. Thanks for the responses. Anytime during the session, if you feel there is some question or query, you can let me know. Okay, in the chat box, I'll be keeping an eye on the chat box, and then I'll answer you whenever there would be the right time to discuss that question. Okay, thank you. So the topic is AWS networking and agenda. So we will be starting our discussion with Amazon VPC. Then we will start with the internet gateway. What is route table, elastic IP addresses, elastic network interface? Okay. So this is all related to AWS networking. But before we move to the AWS and networking in the AWS, there are a few things that you must be aware about. You folks must be having the basic understanding about the networking concepts. How many of you are aware about IP addresses, CIDR ranges? I'm writing here CIDR. Anyone who knows what CIDR stands for? What IP stands for? How the devices over the network communicate with each other. Do you know? Like right now, your device, if everyone who has joined this meeting, okay, your systems are being connected to one network, and that network is, what do you call this network through which you have connected to this webinar? That is internet. Yes or no? That is internet. And internet is a type of network. Okay, and we call this network as wide area network. Okay, so there is local area network as well, there is a metropolitan area network as well. Okay, so how these devices are being recognized over this network? Hmm? How your devices are communicating with each other, folks? That is via IP addresses. Okay, so like you in this session are being recognized by your names. In the same way, over a network, the devices are recognized by its IP addresses. Okay, if it is a local network, the IP address, okay, the IP address would be a private IP. Okay, now what is the beauty of this private IP? That these are reusable. These are the reusable IP addresses. Okay, and whenever you have to connect to the internet, you must be having a special type of IP which is called as public IP. Now, what is the difference between this public and the private IP? That these are the routable IP addresses over the internet. Okay. Now, you would say, Reema, you have started with IP, but maybe a few of you might not be aware about what IP exactly is. Yes, anyone who would let me know what IP is? It stands for Internet Protocol. Okay. It's a 32-bit address. Okay, and that too in IPv6. v4 version. Okay, internet protocol version 4. That means IP has another version which is called as IPv6. Okay, now IPv4 address we will be focusing on it. Why? Because in AWS or Amazon VPC the focus is on IPv4 for the time being. Okay, so it's a 32-bit address which is written in dotted decimal notation. Okay, so at this moment, if you will go to the CMD prompt of your system and you will type a command ipconfig, you will get information about the IP addresses that your system is having right now. And one of the IP address that you will find is the private IP. Okay, and it would be definitely in the range of 192.168 dot something dot something. Okay, that is the private IP. But you will be having, if you will search on Google what is my public IP, okay, it will showcase you the public IP address through which is being used at present on the internet to identify your device. Okay, now how this like why do we need these IPs? The answer is clear. We need to connect our devices over the internet. Okay, but that is one thing. Okay, when you create a network, you have to decide first how bigger or smaller you want your network to be. And that is basically decided via the CIDR range. Okay, somebody has written the full form of CIDR. I'll take you there. Now, what is CIDR? CIDR is classless interdomain routing. That is the full form. Okay. Now, what exactly it is? It is a range of IP addresses that you have chosen for your network. Okay, for example, I will be talking about from the perspective of AWS only. Okay, I'm not talking about now general um, uh, IP concepts. Okay, in that case, you must be aware about what classful IP addressing is. What are the different classes? Okay, I will be talking and focusing on what the basic things we need to know before we start with AWS VPC. Okay, now uh, whenever you will create a VPC, you would require a range of IP addresses, that how bigger or smaller you want your network to be. For example, you have chosen 192.168.0.0 and there would be a slash value. Okay, that is slash 16. Okay. Now, what is the length of IPv4 address, folks? Hello. I hope you are with me. Can somebody write? Okay, it's 32-bit. Okay. Now, what this IP address is showcasing you that where your device, okay, where your device actually located in a network. Okay, in a network. So you will get two things. One is the network address, another is the like this IP is containing two things. One is the network bits, another is the host bits. Okay, so the one that is 192.168 are the network bits. Now you will say, how do you know, Reema, that these are the network bits? Because this slash value is showcasing that how many bits are reserved for network. Okay. Now, if 30 out of 32 bits, 16 are reserved for network, how many you are left with, folks? You will be left with 16 bits. Am I right? Okay, and these 16 bits will be used for numbering your host or addressing your host. Okay, so any network, okay, any device which belongs to this network, which is 192.168.0.0, will have these two octet value fixed. Okay, we call it as octet as well. Why? Octet is equal to 8 bits. Now this decimal IP address is also can also be represented in binary. Okay, and to represent one octet, you would require 1 byte, and 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Okay, all right. So that is how you will decide how bigger or smaller your network would be. Okay, on the basis of this slash value. Now, coming to AWS. Okay, when you want to create a network in AWS, you will be using a service called VPC. Have you heard about this service? VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Cloud. Okay. Now, whenever you want to deploy any device or any resource in AWS, okay, basically it has to be deployed in a network. Okay. As a beginner, you might not be aware about a network, creating your own network. So what AWS has given you, it has created a default VPC for you. Okay, you can directly use it. I will showcase you default VPC on the management console once we will go to hands-on session. Okay, why do you need to? Otherwise, if you want to have a control over how bigger or small network you want, or you want to manage its traffic within your network on your own, okay, then you can create your own custom network. Okay, and you can decide what will be the size. Okay, what type of traffic you want to allow. Okay, and and you can also manage the security of your VPC, okay, of your network. So the service that lets you create your private cloud in AWS is VPC. Okay, by default it gives you one VPC in each region. In every region you will find one default VPC, and VPC is a regional service. Are you aware about what regional service is? That the network that you will be creating will be available then in that particular region only. Okay, now what is a region? Region is a particular geographical location where you can choose, like you want to deploy your resources. For example, if I ask you how many regions are there in India, how many regions are there in India? There are two regions. One is Mumbai, another is Hyderabad. That's great. That's the correct answer, Shanmugan. Okay, so if you have created a VPC and you deployed your web server in this region, it will be available then and there only. Okay, it won't be, your resources won't be available in Hyderabad. Okay, so it's a regional service. Okay, and your VPC can span across multiple availability zone. If you have attended the previous, webinar, you must have an understanding about the infrastructure of AWS. Okay, so you have regions, and regions are further divided into different availability zones. Okay, how many availability zones are there in Mumbai? There are three availability zone. Okay, and there is a logical name of Mumbai, so we call it as AP South 1. Okay, so the availability zone in Mumbai region are AP South 1A, then second is 1B, third is C. Okay, so these are the availability zone. Now, taking you back to the same uh, CIDR range that we have decided for our VPC. Okay, VPC is by default private. Okay, it's private. It, even if in Mumbai region you have deployed or you have created 5 different VPC, they are not aware about each other. Okay, so they don't know how to communicate with each other. They don't know that whether there any world of internet exists out of this network. Okay, that is, everything is private until or unless you don't make them aware about each other. Okay, now coming back to the same pointer, CIDR. So we chosen a range 192.168.0.0/16. Okay. Now this is the biggest network that you can create in AWS. Okay. So you have a fixed CIDR ranges that you can choose in AWS, and that ranges from /16 till /28. The biggest network you can create via /16 value, the smallest with /28. Now, if I ask you how many hosts you can, you know, how many total IP addresses that are available in total IP addresses available in this range. These are, you can calculate it easily. So 16 bits are already reserved for network. You cannot hamper these two octets, first and second, but you can always manipulate these two octets which are on the host side. Okay, so it means 32 minus 16, you are left with 16 bits which you can manipulate. Okay, so there is a base of 2 in decimal. Okay, so you have total address space of 2 raised to power 16, which is equal to 65,536. This is the biggest network, okay, and the address space that you can have in AWS VPC. Okay, now similarly you can calculate for slash 17 value. Okay, now if you will calculate 2 raised to power like not 17, so it would be like if you say the range is selected 192.168.0.0 slash 17. Okay, this means that out of 32 bits, 17 bits are reserved for network. How many are left with host? Those are 15. 2 raised to power 15 is equal to, you can calculate it. It will be just half of this value, that is equal to 32,768. Now, if we see how many addresses that are available in slash 28 slash value or the CIDR value, then you can calculate it easily. Can somebody give me that number? For example, the range that you have is 192.168.0.0 slash 28. How many IP addresses would be there in this range? It would be 32 minus 28. You're left with 4 bits on the, on which side? On the host side. Okay, it means first 8 bits, next 8 bits, next 8 bits from the third octet, and from the last octet. I told you, like 1 byte is equal to 8 bit. Okay, so you are having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 8 bits. Out of these 8 bits from the last octet are also reserved for network, and you are left with these 4. And these bits have some value, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you are left with 4. So 2 raised to power 4 is equal to 16. Okay, clear? So you will be having the smallest network with slash 28 value. All right. So I hope you got the idea about VPC, that what you need to decide first. Okay. So I'm taking you to this diagram. You will see that VPC is a regional service. Okay. VPC is a regional service. So you have to select first the region where you want to create your network. For example, you have chosen AP South 1, that is Mumbai region. Okay. After that, you will go to VPC service and you will say, I want to create my VPC. For that, you will choose a name and you have to select a CIDR range. In our demo, we will use 192.168.10.0.0 slash 16, the biggest one. Okay. And then because VPC can span across availability zone. Okay. And the subnets that you will be creating for managing your bigger network, you want to divide it into some smaller networks. Okay, so that you can manage it easily. Because in network you want to you have a choice, like you can keep a few resources public facing, a few private, isn't it? So public facing you will be keeping in the public subnet. Okay, so what is a subnet? Subnet is a subset of your CIDR range. Okay, so it is a subset of your CIDR range. For example, while you will be creating a small portion, you know that we have 65,536 IP addresses. I cannot manage. It's very difficult to manage it as a whole bigger network. So I'm going to divide my bigger network into smaller manageable parts. And those are subnets. Okay. So while I'll be creating a subnet, I have to again define a CIDR range, which is the part of this, which is the subset of it. Okay, so I can say 192.168 Then 0.0/24. If I'm using value /24 my subnet, that means I will be having total 256 IP addresses in this one segment. Okay. But there is a another thing. Okay. First thing, the subnet that you will be creating belongs to availability zone. Okay. So by default, the default network that AWS creates, it creates subnets in each availability zone. But when you are creating your own custom network, you can decide in which, subnet you want to create your particular, in which availability zone you want to create your subnet. Okay, that is totally up to you. Okay, you have to choose a non-overlapping subset from the CIDR. Okay, you cannot choose the same range for two different subnets. Why? Suppose this is a bigger plot. Okay, and you want to, like, you are not. Hello, am I audible? Yes, you are not going to create a complete house on the whole, land. What you do to use it more manageable way, you create partitions. So you create room number one, room number two, and so on. Okay, what is a subset? It's a boundary that you have chosen for this particular room. If you have already selected this place or land, can you create another, room on the same boundary, on the same land? The answer is no. You have to choose another space. Okay, so that is what I'm saying, that this ranges should be non-overlapping. Okay, after creating a VPC, we can create subnets. Okay, and then only we are able to deploy our resources there. For example, you create a web server using EC2 and then you can deploy there. Okay, so this is one thing. And when it comes to subnet, in each subnet, 5 IPs are reserved. Okay, 5 IPs are reserved. Okay, now why these IPs? Which IPs? For example, if I take this example, okay, so you have a range 192.168.0.0. This is the very first address. Okay, and the last address would be 192.168.0.255. Am I right? Okay, okay, because I'm having 256 IPs. It's starting from 0 and it is ending with 255. Okay, what will be the second address? It will be 192.168.0.1, then 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and so on. Okay, so first 4 IPs addresses and the last IP address is reserved by AWS. For what task? The first one by default is the network address. The second one is the implicit local router address. The third one, okay, network address plus 2 is the DNS address. And fourth address is reserved for future usage. And the last address is called as the broadcast address. Although AWS doesn't support broadcast in VPC, but still it reserve it. Okay, this is about your subnet. Now, let me take you to the management console and then we can have a quick understanding of creating a VPC. All right. Any question till now? Is my screen visible, folks? Now you can see I'm into my management console, and here I'm into VPC service. Okay. So you can search for it, or you can type in the chat box. Okay. Or you can simply go here on the main page and look for the service. Okay, let's go to VPC. Right now I'm into Mumbai region. Okay, so by default, if you will be going to any of the region, you will find a default VPC with the same CIDR range 172.31.0.0. And if I just select this VPC and show you the subnets that are there inside this VPC are three in each, in every availability zone. Okay, there are three availability zone. You will find it that one is there in this region, AP South, sorry, availability zone A, another in B, another in C. And if you go to North Virginia, there are 6 availability zones. So you will find six subnets in each, like one subnet for each availability zone. Okay, you can see now I'm in North Virginia. This is the let's select the default VPC. Uh, Here it is, the default one. Okay, the range again cider is same, no matter you go wherever region, okay, whichever region. And subnets you will find like there are 6 subnets. Okay, now if you have to create your own custom network, you will choose the particular VPC. Okay, then go here your VPCs and you can click on create VPC. Now I'm going to create one VPC. I'll name it as demo VPC, and the CIDR range I'm going to choose is 10.0 dot. Okay, let's take example of 192 only. 192.168.0.0. Okay, slash, if I take like slash 15, it will not allow me. Why? Because it has clearly defined like it should be between 16 and 28 only. You will see tenancy is fine. If I try to create, it will give me an error. Okay, so let's go with 16 and create a VPC. Okay, now you can see whenever you create a VPC, one by default resource is created, that is a route table. Okay, do you see in the map, resource map, demo VPC is created along with the route table, and this is the main route table for this VPC. Why do we need a route table? I'll let you know. Okay, now when you create your VPC, just go to actions and edit VPC settings and enable your DNS host name. So it will give the host name to all the resources that will be deployed in this VPC. Okay. Now let's go to subnets. Okay. These are the default subnets, which are the part of the other VPC. Okay. The default one. So which one we have created? Demo. Okay. Now, uh, wait a second. Okay. And you can filter it here. You can select your own demo VPC, and then you will see that there is no subnet created here. So we can create one subnet. You have to select your VPC in which you want to create your subnet. We'll choose demo, and it has showcased you the whole range that is there. Now you can name your subnet. You can name it anything. I'm choosing like public subnet so that we will be able to understand that I'm going to use this subnet for public facing resources. Now you have the choice. You want to create an availability zone A, B, or C. So I have chosen that. Here you have to provide the range for your subnet. Okay, I have chosen 192.168.0.0 and it will be created. Okay, now if I take you back, you can see in my demo VPC, I have created one public subnet. Okay, folks, once you have created a VPC, okay, its CIDR cannot be changed. Okay, you can only delete it or you can add some secondary CIDRs. Okay, so that is what it is showcasing, that this is the CIDR which is there with this VPC. Now I have created one extra component, and that is my public subnet. Can you see? Earlier it was not there. So you can see the whole map. And right now it is pointing to the route table. Okay. By default, if you haven't created any other route table, okay, it will be pointing to the main route table that you have created. All right. So this is my subnet. I will select it, go to actions and will edit the subnet settings. Now what I'm saying, that enable auto assign of public IP addresses, whatever resource that will be created in this subnet. Okay. So this is what I have created. Now, folks, tell me, now is this subnet is a public subnet? If I launch any resource in this subnet, will it be able to communicate with the outside world? You will say, okay, Dinesh says yes. Let me stop my screen share and take you to the uh, diagram again. not this one. Just a second. Okay. Folks, in this diagram, if you see, by default, your VPC doesn't know how to, communicate with the outside world. So we have to introduce a component which is called as internet gateway. Okay, now what this internet gateway will do, it will give a path to communicate with the outside world, which is called as internet. Okay, which is internet. Okay, so by that time, then only it's a two-way communication. Okay, anyone from the outside world will be able to communicate with the resources which are made public, and any public instance will be also give the response back. Okay, so while you have created your VPC, you have to attach one more device, that is internet gateway. Okay, let me take you back to the management console. Okay, so here is the internet gateway. In the left side, all the components are there. You can go and create a internet gateway. So I'll say this is my demo IGW internet gateway. Okay, and I can create an internet gateway. Now this internet gateway is created, but right now it is not attached to any VPC. If I showcase you the list of uh, you know gateways, you will find this one, and this is detached. I can attach it, uh, or simply once you create it, it gives you a message. You can attach it to a VPC. Select your VPC and click on attach internet gateway. Let me take you back to the VPC and let's see the resource map. Now you will see that there is a demo VPC. It has a public subnet and it also has a route table. And where is the internet gateway? There is a network gateway as well. Okay, now this demo IGW will provide a target to route your traffic to the outside world, that is your internet. Okay, now we have attached it. Now do you think if I launch any instance into this public subnet will be able to communicate with the internet? The answer is still no. Why? Because how would devices in this subnet would know where to route the traffic? And there comes a importance of route table. Okay, so another component that you must be aware about is the route table. So you can click on create a route table. I will name it like public route table, and you have to define in which VPC you are going to create it. Make sure that you are creating it into the particular subnet VPC only. Okay, do not create it in default, otherwise you will be looking it for the in the demo VPC and it won't be there. Okay, so make sure that you are creating these resources into the correct setup. Okay, create this route table. Once you have created it, one by default route is there. Okay, that is for the local communication. Can you see, if any communication is within this range, okay, within one local network, then it could be via the private IPs. But if you have to communicate with the outside world, you have to create a route which is 0.0.0/0, and the target should be your internet gateway. Okay, now you choose your internet gateway and click on save changes. Now you have created a route table, but will it be able to identify where to route the traffic? The answer is still no. Why? Because you have created a route table, but it is still not associated. It is a independent component. You have to associate it with the subnet. Okay. So do you see this second tab, subnet association? It is not associated with any of the subnet. Let's do that. So we will select the public subnet and will save the association. Now let's see what is the change that has happened in our resource map. Now, folks, can you see where my where is the route table pointing now? So you have a public subnet. Now instead of the main route table, it is pointing to the public route table that you have created, and it has a connection with the internet gateway. Okay, That means now you are done with all the basic requirements to make this subnet as a public. Okay. Now, how you will launch an EC2 instance in this subnet? Have you ever launched an EC2 instance, folks? Okay, I'll say this is my web server 123. Okay, and T2 micro proceed without. Okay, this is the network settings. Okay, while you want to launch your resources into a custom VPC or network, you can click on edit here. And instead of choosing the default VPC, you will choose the one that you have created. Because we are having only one public subnet, it is choosing that only. Otherwise, it will give you more options. Okay. So as you know that in this subnet, we have already auto assigned public IP. So any instance that you are going to launch in this subnet will be having a public IP. Okay, we are going to create a security group. We will say it's web server SG. Okay, and then you can enable, I will remove this SSH. I can add a security group rule. I'll say HTTP port 80 and I'll say custom or source could be anywhere. Okay, so let's create this. I'll give a particular script which is going to create a which is going to launch the Apache server while this instance would be up and running. Okay, so this is the script. Let's launch this instance. Okay, now this instance has been launched. Let's view it. It will take some time. It's in the pending state. It will take a few minutes to pass the status check, and then we will see whether we are able to connect with it or not. Okay, now folks, see the range, the private IP that is assigned to your instance is from one from the range that you have selected, 192.168.0.208. Okay, now one IP has been used already. If I take you back to your VPC, okay, let's me take you to the subnet, and we are having public subnet. Now you tell me how many available IP addresses are there, folks? Can you identify how many IPs are available? 251 in total. Where are the 5 IP addresses which are reserved? Right now, if you want to see that how many IPs have been used, okay, so there is one IP that has been already used by this instance. This one. Okay. So you are left with now 250 IPs in this particular subnet. All right. So this is one a simple demo where you have created, like where we have created our custom VPC along with one subnet, public subnet, and we added internet gateway, route table, we did the association, and now we have launched one web server in it. Okay. Yes, Govind, that's the correct answer. Shanmugan as well. Folks, any question, any doubt till the time, you can write in the chat box. Okay, so it is in the running state. If we have to check it, I'll share the public IP with you folks. You are gonna let me know that whether you are able to connect with this instance or not. Is it giving you a hello message from a particular server or not? So you can check the IP address is in the chat box, folks. Is it giving you a message on the web page or not? Have you checked it? Can I get a quick confirmation, folks? A quick thumbs up would be enough. Or either you can write yes in the chat box if it is accessible to you folks. Okay, Shanmugan says he got a response. Dinesh, make sure that you are not, connected to your corporate firewall kind of. Otherwise, it gives you some error. So maybe you can try opening it into the private window. I'll show you if you want to know. It's accessible. Just try once again and let me know. So see, this is the message that you are getting. Okay, this is the private IP and this is the host name. All right. So this is how you can quickly create your custom VPC. You can also manage the traffic, the sort of traffic that will go inside or outside of the VPC. Now I'll give you a quick, demo that how you can manage the traffic on your VPC. Now we are here. I'll take you back to the VPC, and if I make any changes in the route table, okay, so this is the public route table. I'll go to the routes. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Okay, so routes. Now if I delete one route, okay, so this is like what this route table does. If it gives you the path, okay, it gives the path to the devices that are launched in the subnet, that how to reach to a particular target. If this target has been removed, it doesn't know where to route the traffic. For example, if you want to go from point A to B, if you know the way, you will reach there. If you don't know, will you be ever able to reach to B point? You will say no, I'll use Google Maps. So here route table is just like the Google Maps. It will show you the path how you can reach there. All right. So if I save the change now, now you just refresh the page. Are you able to still connect with the instance? Now it doesn't know how to reach to the particular server that you have launched in your subnet. Let me know quickly, folks. Are you able to connect with the instance? No. Okay, so that is how you can manage the traffic. Okay, so folks, if you have paid attention, that's great. Now we are going to quickly check, and there will be a surprise gift for you. Are you ready for that? Yes, no? How about others? All right, so you will find a link in the chat box. Okay, uh, you are supposed to join that quiz. Okay, there would be, I'll let you know the you know ins- instructions to attempt it. Let me start it. Be ready, folks. This is a great chance to win some prizes. Ready? All right. Just allow me a second, and then we will be able to start it. There would be 10 seconds to answer the quiz. Is my screen visible to you, folks? You can quickly scan this QR code, or I'm sharing one link in the chat box. You can click on that and join this quiz. Okay. Can quickly scan it. I have shared the link in the chat box as well. You can join it. I'll be waiting for next 2 minutes. Okay, Shanmugan is there. How about others? If you face any difficulty while joining, let me know. Okay, there are 7 participants. I'll wait for 30 more seconds. Okay, 10 participants. Good number. Hurry up, folks. Okay, 10 more seconds. So it's a kind of rapid fire round. Okay, so the one who will answer, fast, okay, he will be the winner. Okay, he will get more, he or she will get more marks. Okay, all right. So we have a good number of participants. Folks, those who still haven't joined, you have still time. Okay, once it is started, I don't think so you'll be able to join. Okay, the first question on your screen, are you able to see it? Okay, pay attention. Okay, I'm sharing a code as well if you need that. Okay, let's wait for Yash to join. Okay, next question. Okay, only 18% people give the right answer. 3 participants skipped it. Folks, pay attention. All right. Next question on your screen. Great. A lot of people have given the correct answer. A big round of applause. Okay, don't lose focus. Next question. Okay, next question, folks. All right. Next one. You're left with 4 more questions, folks. Next question. Good job. Don't lose hope. We have 3 more questions. The winners could be changed at any moment. Next question. Is this quiz that hard, or you folks are struggling with the time? Let us know about your experience in this webinar, folks. Okay. One last question. All right. So thanks for participating. I'm ending this quiz now. Thanks who participated. And you know who is there on the leaderboard. Congratulations, Govin. You secure the first position in the quiz. Second, Shanmugam. And the third one, I think it's Yash only. Yash, did you use the 286301 number to join? All right, then there is Sudhir. Folks, that's great. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you learned something about networking. It's a vast concept. If you want to learn rest of the topics, stay connected. Ayush will let you know how
Yeah.
you can, connect with the rest of the webinars and rest of the things. Thank you so much, folks. It was really wonderful to interact with you via the chat. Hope it adds something to your knowledge base. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ayush, for providing
Thank you,
this
Reema. Thank
um,
you. And I would like to request
opportunity.
you if you could attempt a few questions from the candidates and the joiners, because they might have some queries and doubts about the courses. What do they want to do in their career about the AWS courses, and what exactly our company is promoting. So if you could elaborate about it. If anybody has a question, kindly put the question in the chat box, or we would wind up the you know session from here itself. Anybody, please drop your questions if you have any doubt. Schedule is available on our website. I'll be sharing the link of the calendar, and there might be some changes in the calendar. So we'll update it and let you know once it is done. Okay. So yeah, sure. Further questions, please. Anybody else? Any more questions? Okay, yes. Better luck next time. And we are waiting for the questions. If you have any question, then you can put it in the drop box, chat box, right? Okay, let's talk about our courses. We have four kind of courses, and you can visit our website, that is idigisys.com, and you can find all the courses available there. Right. So let me share the screen. One second. So you guys can visit our website and you can check our courses. Here we have four courses, that is Certified Cloud Practitioner, AWS Certified Solution Architect, Technical Essential, and AI Practitioner. So whichever you are interested to enroll in, you can drop us a message on the WhatsApp. We are, offering some discount up to 45%. So you can avail that offer. And this offer is going to be revoked very soon once the batch is filled. Okay. Any more questions? So fine. Let's wind up from here. Still you have any question, you can put the question in our WhatsApp chat or a WhatsApp group. We'll be, pleased to answer it. Thank you very much.